Michelle Amanda Robinson was born in Wembley on the 6th of October 1971. She is a former Olympic triple jumper who internationally represented Great Britain for 14 years.
In terms of titles, I won about 12 national titles, but never on an international stage. So I think my best ever performance was 4th or 5th at the Commonwealth Games. Olympic Games, I came 13th overall. World Championships, I was 3 times a finalist at the World Championships. European, I was finalist as well, but never actually came away with an international medal, which I think still gripes me today. You can only do your best, and that's all I did at the time. Every time I went into a competition, I felt I was going in there to win, and winning is on twofold really. Winning meaning you're going to win the whole thing, or beat yourself. And I wanted to beat myself. Every time I went out there, I wanted to challenge myself and be better than I was before. Some days it would happen, some days it wouldn't.
In June 1994, Michelle managed to beat herself by becoming the first woman to jump over 14 metres in the Commonwealth Games.
How did I feel? Elated. I felt like as if I made history. And if you still Google it now, it still says I'm the first ever woman to jump over 14 metres in the Commonwealth. So I think that's obviously something for me to be a little bit proud of. There's several highs and lows from being an athlete. I think the highs are obviously the success you gain, the sponsorship, the travelling, meeting people, the money you can make, the freebies. You know, at one point I had a Lucozade sponsorship at Asics Shoe Company. I had Jordan cereal bar sponsoring me as well. I had Triumph bra sponsoring me all at one time, so that was the highs. I think the lows are, you look back on it now and you think, well, why the hell didn't I keep some of that stuff that I got then? You give it all out to family, and then when you end up having to go and buy trainers 10 years later, and you think, I shouldn't actually be having to buy trainers. Because I should have had enough, I did have enough equipment and apparel then to keep me going for the next 15 years. The lows of athletics are being knocked out, not making the championships, not doing as well when you get to a championships. I think that's definitely the lows. But it sets you up. It sets you up for the rest of your career, really. It makes you know how to deal with stuff. Transition for me was pretty good, to be honest with you, because I'd already set up my own personal training company whilst doing athletics, and that happened by chance because the National Lottery, who was my sponsors at the time, decided to cut my funding one year. And I then said, you know what, in order for me to fund this and not be reliant on anybody else, I'm going to start doing something that I enjoy. So I did a fitness qualification, personal training qualification, and I did that, 13, 14 years ago now. And it's the best move I ever made. So my transition from athletics when I retired 7 years ago actually didn't affect me, to be honest.
Michelle is married to former Welsh international rugby player Matthew Fitzdavid Robinson. Matthew was born in Wales on the 2nd of April 1973 and went to attain 4 caps within his rugby career.
We had a very successful side. The side that I played for was, I played for a couple of sides, but I ended up at Swansea. We were a very successful side, actually, one of the best in Europe. We had a rebel season whereby Cardiff and Swansea left the Welsh League and played in the English Premiership. And that unofficial league, we won. We won the Welsh Cup. The following year we won the Welsh League. And I think probably the only other thing of note really was making the final 8 in the Heineken Cup. So yeah, I had a pretty good time. It was good fun. My saddest moment within rugby, I guess, is losing my place in the national side, and perhaps realising that actually I possibly wasn't down to me to be able to cement my place, that it was perhaps a bit of a personality thing and so on with the guy, and that perhaps there wasn't a great deal more that I could do about it.
We met at the Commonwealth Games in 2002. I was representing England and Matthew was representing Wales in the rugby sevens. And I walked in with my pink trainers on, my pink and denim diesel jeans, my short haircut, my hair was that long. And I walked in with my friend Marcia, and I saw a group of guys sitting on a table. I said to Marcia, before I walked over, I went, "Who's that guy?" She said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going up to him." I said, "You can't." I said, no, I'm going up to him." She said, "Michelle, you can't." I said, "Just don't worry, I'm going up to him." And I went up to him and I introduced myself. I said, "Hello, I'm Michelle." And he said, "I know who you are." And he carried on from there.
And I think she asked for my number, but I said I couldn't give it to her because I was seeing somebody else. And I said, "But I'll take yours." And yeah, that was pretty much how we met. We'd kind of made eye contact because she was in the queue. We kind of made eye contact, but breakfast was more important to me at that time. So I was prepared to wait until I'd finished and then go and speak to her. But
Were you
as
really going to
normal,
come up to me?
yeah,
Which
but
part?
as normal, Michelle was a little impatient and jumped the gun, you know. So
Listen, you can't make opportunity waste, you know.
so anyway, it all panned out in the end.
We did, yeah.
Can you come out of here, please? I need to tap my hair as well. Get me a head tie to tap my hair, please.
What's a head tie?
Matthew was very supportive when he met me, and we fell pregnant with Reese quite soon after our relationship started, and I wanted to stay in London near my family. He was based in Wales at the time, and he made the decision to come down to the big wide world, so to speak, and continue life down there. So for me, I was able to carry on my sport, really. On hindsight, maybe it should have been the other way round.
My wife became pregnant, and she said that after she was pregnant, she wanted to train and get back for the Olympic Games, which was Athens 2004. I thought, you know what, I've achieved a lot of what I want to achieve. My wife is now pregnant. I had a few offers to go and play out in France and back down closer to home, but that didn't really suit. I never wanted to be away from what would be my first child, and to be able to help and support Michelle just meant that I had to make a few sacrifices, and so that's why I quit it, really. I don't think that we've been in a situation where sport would really come between us, based on the fact that I finished playing whilst we were in the early days of our relationship, and so it meant really that Michelle was the athlete, the professional athlete, and I was just a support mechanism, really, as a dad and a little bit as a trainer for her. So realistically, no, we've had some ups and downs. Maybe I want to go training or something like that, and it mightn't fit with what she might want to do, but not problems, no. Michelle's quite a girly girl, and I'm not really. I need an outlet for my physicality, I guess. So the fact that I'd moved to an area I didn't know, I didn't know anybody around the place, that was my biggest thing. So I ended up, I would train, but I just have to train on my own, and that it was somewhat lonely on occasions, you know. But I didn't say I missed the sport or anything like that. That was okay. I felt I was all right with that, but not being able to train with a group and be able to go and chat to somebody when I wanted to.
Matthew sacrificed a lot to support Michelle and their first child. Although their paths have changed, they have continued to strive together.
He went from 3 years ago, or nearly 4 years ago, working in strength conditioning, and then unfortunately for Matt, his mother died. He had a change of heart, and he wanted to be at home with myself and the girls a lot more because he was working a lot. And the fact that he turned it around and went into teaching and put us in a financially stable position yet again, I think I'm constantly proud of you. I do tell you sometimes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.